sightings yet. However, the storm is capable of producing one right around Riviera Beach. It's moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. Take cover now in Riviera Beach up toward Palm Beach Isles, Lake Park. You are in the path of this dangerous storm right now and not noticing any rotation there just yet, but Doppler radar indicating there could be a tornado forming within that cell right there. Mangonia Park to the north, right along Congress and Blue Heron is where this apparent storm that could produce a tornado is heading right now. Northeast on the motion at 25 miles an hour. Again, as a radar indicated rotation. So flying debris is going to be the most dangerous aspect of this if you're caught without shelter. So mobile homes could be damaged, damage to roofs, windows, vehicles, tree damage. Again, the location is likely going to be impacted by this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Will be West Palm Beach, and especially around Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, Riviera Beach, and Palm Beach as well. Take cover now if you are in the path of this dangerous storm. You want to move to an interior room on the lowest floor of the sturdiest building you can get to. Avoid windows. Get away from all windows and doors. Get to the first floor, and you want to get as far into the middle of the home on the first floor as you possibly can to avoid any damage from flying debris and broken glass. If you're in a mobile home, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris as well. We are going to switch this over to the, this is our WPTV live Doppler. We're going to switch over to the velocity and see if we can see if we can detect any rotation. And there are a lot of lightning out there, not detecting any rotation on our radar view right now. Let's switch this over to the radar at the airport and the PBI radar and see if their velocity is indicating any, what we call a couplet, right around Riviera Beach. And we're not really noticing anything unusual here. The red flowing in, the green flowing away from the radar. We don't see any twisting winds or any we call a correlation coefficient where there would be some debris in the atmosphere. We're not noticing that either yet, but we're going to continue to monitor this. This is clearly a storm that is severe. At the very least, it's capable of producing winds to 60 miles an hour, large damaging hail, and very, very heavy rain. So tornado or not, if you're in the path of this, it would be right around North Palm Beach, Lake Park, Riviera Beach, over toward Palm Beach, right downtown, and out toward the Ocean Drive as well. Take cover immediately. This warning is in effect until 2 o'clock. So where are we at right now? At what, about 1, coming up on 1:30 now. So we've got another half an hour on this tornado warning. That's the velocity there. We're looking for what we call a couplet. And we don't see one on the radar just yet. That you would see kind of a green spot inside that red spot right there, and no indication of that just yet. However, assume there is a tornado on the way. Assume there is a tornado possible at the very least, and just act as if there was a tornado on the ground right now, because you don't want to wait until you see one. Radar indicating a severe thunderstorm capable of producing rotation. Let's switch back to our live WPTV radar here and see if we can detect anything else unusual here. This is all in advance of a cold front, by the way, that's pushing in from the west right now. We've had some daytime heating. This is the third round of severe weather we've seen in the past 24 hours. This will be the final round of severe weather. Skies will clear later this afternoon, but at least between now and about 5 o'clock, we're still going to be looking at the possibility for some dangerous weather out there. You see the heaviest rain right now, Haverhill, and right around the Turnpike as well. The B line getting hit very hard with the heavy rain. I-95 covered with rain as well. We'll go ahead and scan to the north up here. You see right around the Gardens Mall getting some very dangerous lightning, heavy rain. North Palm Beach as well. It's now closing in quickly on Lake Park, Riviera Beach, Mangonia Park as well. About to move through downtown West Palm Beach. So get to a safe place right now. Once again, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado in effect, a tornado warning in effect until 2 o'clock, and that is for Palm Beach County. Mainly eastern Palm Beach County. If you're just joining us right now and you're alert to an off at home, here's what's going on. A tornado warning has been issued by the National Weather Service for east central Palm Beach County. If you're pretty much west of 441 or even west of 95, the chances are very slim that you'll see any severe weather from this, although you will see dangerous lightning, gusty winds, and heavy rain. This is mainly along 95 and east of 95. which would be in the main threat zone right now. A tornado is possible. Radar, at least for a brief moment or two at the National Weather Service, was indicating some rotation. And you never want to take a chance on that, waiting until that hits the ground. So the warnings went out right away for the possibility that this would come down and touch down somewhere over the area. Flying debris is going to be an issue if you're driving around. So you want to make sure that you do not leave home, stay in a safe place. The most important thing you can do right now, if you're at home, is get to an interior room in your home. If you're on a multi-level home, get to the first floor, get downstairs, and get to an interior room that would be away from windows and doors. Get into maybe a laundry room or a closet. Maybe get under a sturdy bench or a sturdy table in your home, and make sure that you protect yourself from any flying debris. Shannon Cake is going to join us live on the phone. Shannon, where are you exactly, and what are you seeing where you are?
All right, John. Hey, yeah, we're headed north on I-95, headed toward Riviera and Martin County this afternoon. And the sky just opened up. Of course, as we were passing, I would say it was somewhere in the area between 45th Street and Blue Heron Boulevard. We started hearing large, sounded like ice hitting. Here we go again. I don't know if you can hear it on our windshield. Ice is, hail is hitting our windshield right now. I'm trying to get a gaze on the size of it. I'd say it's,
so you're saying...
I can't really see it. It's periodic. We're hearing, we're seeing hail drop on the windshield right now.
Yeah.
Of course, a super slow go. A lot of folks pulling over on the whiteout conditions right now. I'm northbound, right about North Lake Boulevard. I don't know what is showing on the radar, but we're experiencing hail. Northbound I-95, right about North Lake right now, John.
Yeah, I can hear the rain pelting down, and the hail. Of course, you want to pull over and get to a safe place. You don't want to be trapped in that. For sure. You haven't seen any funnel clouds or tornadoes on the ground. Is the rain blowing sideways, can you tell, or is it coming straight down?
Straight at us. Pretty aggressive. It's coming straight at us. We're trying to make our way off the interstate right now. Can you hear the hail hitting the windshield?
All right, Shannon. Yeah, it sounds like you're kind of in the middle of that right now. Get to a safe place. We're gonna turn you loose right now. Just you can go and get someplace and pay attention to your safety right there. Get off the road, and we'll check back with you. If you see anything else developing, you see a funnel cloud or a tornado, let us know right away. Back to Viper radar right now and in studio, and you can see that we've got kind of a core. You see that purple color right there? It's all about the colors. That's really the best way to portray what's going on here. That clearly highlights where the biggest threat, the most dangerous threat is, according to radar right now. If you're just joining us, I'm John Gerard. There's a tornado warning in effect until 2 o'clock, and that is in effect for eastern Palm Beach County. That includes West Palm Beach, Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, Riviera Beach, and Palm Beach. Based on the track of this system that is moving to the northeast very quickly at 25 miles an hour. That'll be off the coast in about another half an hour or so. But if you're in the path, do take cover immediately. If you're in Juneau Isles, Juneau Beach, you may be a little bit north of that, but take cover as well in case this makes a little bit of a jog to the north there, over toward the Gardens Mall, North Palm Beach, Lake Park, and Riviera Beach as well, in the line of fire right there at Palm Beach Isles and heading down toward the beaches. You're in the path of this as well. Get a little bit of a zoom in and get a closer look at some of the roads that might be there in the path. You want to get off these roads. It looks like A1A and right around Central Boulevard. It's beginning to get better there, but you can see over toward I-95 and also the B line getting some very heavy downpours, and as Shannon Cake just reported, some potentially large hail coming down as well. This is we haven't had a report yet. We're going to check with our weather spotters, hoping to hear from our WPTV First Alert weather spotters here if they see anything occurring in terms of a funnel cloud or actual tornado sighting on the ground. But this has all been radar indicated. The Doppler radar at the National Weather Service and our in-house live WPTV Viper radar has been indicating possible rotation there. It looks like the core of this right now is right around the Gardens Mall, as indicated by that purple spot that you see right there. And if you're not near your TV and you're listening instead from a room interior, Juno Ridge, you'd be in the path of this. Juno Isles as well, and maybe Juno Beach. It's about to cross over US 1 here momentarily. Where are we going? You said where now? We had a report from pictures. All right, beautiful. Thank you. We've got some pictures now coming in. By the way, these pictures, never put yourself in harm's way, but if you can safely send us some pictures, do so. There we go. Great. This is Riviera Beach. Is that where we're looking at right there? Riviera Beach? Perfect. All right, we've got live pictures coming up from Riviera Beach. You see those dark, dangerous-looking storm clouds out there right now. No signs of a funnel or a tornado as we kind of scan the skies there right now. So the good news is that we don't see anything, but there's always the possibility that a tornado could be what we call rain-wrapped. That's when the rain is falling so hard that it kind of obscures the view of the funnel cloud or the tornado. So we're going to assume that there's a tornado in that cloud somewhere, and that's the reason why there's a tornado warning in effect until 2 o'clock. So we've got another little while to go before this tornado warning is canceled. It's a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning. Severe thunderstorms are always capable of producing tornadoes, and when we see one, we don't wait until one is on the ground. That's the beauty of today's technology and Doppler radar and dual pole radar, which kind of looks horizontally and vertically to see if there's any damage on the ground or any debris in the air flying around. So back in the old days, we used to wait until we actually saw one on the ground, but now you can get a lot more notice by noticing rotation at various levels in the atmosphere. So we don't wait. We go ahead and pull the trigger and push those buttons on warnings just in case, because these are the kinds of storms that do produce tornadoes. And every minute in advance that we can warn you is another minute that gives you a chance to get to a safe place and save your life. So stay indoors. Don't be gawking out the window. Don't be opening up doors and taking pictures if you're in a dangerous spot. We have crews out there that are doing so safely. If you happen to be in a safe spot and you do happen to see something, and if you can get a picture of it, by all means send it in to us, because you can be our eyes and ears on the ground as well, where this is all kind of being tracked by Doppler radar right now. And we don't see any evidence of a tornado. Doesn't mean there hasn't been one, but the National Weather Service wasn't going to hesitate, which is good advice. When you see a storm like this that has some rotation, even in the mid to upper levels of the system, you want to go ahead and warn people, because you don't want to wait until it gets on the ground. I'm sorry? All right, we've got, this is pictures here from North Lake Boulevard. Thank you. Eric Pasquarelli's out there, and is Eric mic'd up? Can Eric hear me? Or, all right, he cannot, but okay. So you see it raining real hard right there. I can't tell if there's any hail there. But certainly it's raining very heavily. It's all aspects of a severe thunderstorm. It's not just the high winds and the heavy rain, but the flooding and also the possibility of this, damaging hail. And you never want to drive around on flooded roads as well. So, and of course, the worst case scenario is that a tornado might be embedded somewhere in that storm right now. As it crosses US 1, let's go ahead and zoom in right here and kind of see. You see US 1 right there, and the storm is sitting right on top of US 1 and just north of North Palm Beach, just north of Lake Park, between Lake Park and Juno Beach. So that's the hot spot right now. And you can see it making a very quick beeline toward the coast right now. So this is a very fast-moving system, which is good news. It's not going to be around too long, but it certainly has the possibility of producing a tornado between now and about 2 o'clock. Switch over to the, I want to switch over to the National Weather Service radar just for a minute out at PBIA and see what they're seeing there. A lot of lightning, as you can see, just 90 to close to 100 lightning strikes just over the past 15 minutes there. So that's another dangerous aspect of this storm. Not noticing any severe weather in eastern Palm Beach County according to their. I'm going to take another scan. I'm going to switch over to the National Weather Service radar site in Miami. Now, because of the curvature of the Earth and how far away the radar is, you do tend to get a little bending, or it kind of overshoots a little bit. So this isn't the look that we would probably use in a severe weather situation, but I'm kind of using all the different radars available. See, maybe we can glean a little bit of information from that. It looks like according to this, now again, this is going to be off by a little bit of a few miles because of the angle of the curvature of the Earth there, but you can see it looks like on Miami radar that the worst of the storm, as indicated by the purples and the magentas there, is now pushing off the coast and away from you in North Palm Beach and Juneau Ridge as well. Lake Park is still getting torrential rain. Riviera Beach, torrential rain as well. Blue Heron Boulevard is just covered in rain right now, on down toward Mangonia Park and back toward Haverhill as well. So even though the worst of the storm is pushing rapidly toward the coast, there's still a lot of lightning, a lot of very heavy rain causing flooding, and also we've had reports of some hail. Shannon Cake checked in just a few minutes ago, reporting some rather large hail in Palm Beach County. I want to switch to a second here. Hey, Michael.
Just for those just joining us on all of our platforms, on air and online, if people are just now tuning in, give us first kind of a recap where we are, safety precautions, where we're headed.
Okay, we've got a tornado warning in effect. You're looking at the radar we call velocity. This is a different kind of a scan. That's not where it's raining, but that's where the winds are flowing toward and away from the radar. And we're looking for a couplet there, Michael. That is where you see greens and reds mixed together, where there is twisting of winds. And we don't really see that on there at this moment, but it's a radar indicated rotation. In other words, there was no visual sighting of a tornado, but a warning went out nonetheless because Doppler radar indicated some rotation on this storm. We don't have any indication that it actually touched down. However, a tornado warning is in effect, Michael, until 2 o'clock. Now, the areas that we're most concerned about are West Palm Beach, Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, Riviera Beach, and Palm Beach, right, downtown. And those are the areas that would appear to be in the path of this severe thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. It's important to note that we haven't had a report of a tornado, but we'll see when the storm goes by if there's any damage. That'll be an indication that there probably was a tornado, but we haven't seen any of that yet. It's just been too dangerous to get out there and look, obviously. So the tornado warning in effect until 2 o'clock. So what you need to do is just go to an interior room. If you're just joining us right now, get to a room that's the farthest inside, away from windows and doors, on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. If you are where you are and you have no options, just get to what you would think would be the safest portion of that structure. That would be the interior, the most interior room. Could be a laundry room, could be a closet, could be somewhere in the bedroom. And if you're kind of in a room where you don't have any place to go to, then just kind of get under a table, maybe a kitchen table, sturdy piece of furniture, in case the wind should get strong and kind of blow the windows out. You don't want to be trapped there. And again, that's in effect until 2 p.m. If you're in a mobile home, it's not the place you want to be for sure. That's the most dangerous place to be, is in a mobile home. But if that's where you are, just get yourself some protection, get under a sturdy table, and get away from all windows and doors. Now, I am noticing what appears to be a little bit of a couplet here. That red spot right there, just north of Gramercy Park, that's something to keep an eye on right there. That just popped up a few seconds ago on our radar. That's just to the south of the B-line right now, and about to cross the B-line, and that is just to the west of Garden Road, and next stop would be Military Trail. So we're going to keep an eye on that. That's got me a little concerned right there for the possibility of some rotation of that. We're going to watch that, and that's kind of to the west, or kind of back to where the main cell is. Now, sometimes happens, we call it back building, where we're so focused on where the storm is and where the storm is going that all of a sudden on the back edge of the storm, you could get some rotation there. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on. It seems to have, again, in the last scan, has gotten a little bit weaker, but it's right over the B-line, right at the B-line and Military is where the worst of that appears to be right now. So assume that that's got the possibility of producing a tornado. We've been watching the chats from the National Weather Service and checking with the weather spotters as well. We haven't had any reports of confirmation of a tornado on the ground yet, but certainly the conditions are favorable, and you want to just expect that there is a tornado. In other words, just prepare as if there is a tornado on the ground. Now is a good time to dust off your tornado safety survival methods, if you will, and get to a safe place away from windows and doors. This little couplet right there, that little red couplet, if you're just listening and you're not near your TV, let me describe what's going on here. Just to the south and east of Palm Beach Gardens and about to cross Military Trail, just to the west of you in North Palm Beach is where this little, what we call it a couplet, that's where the wind is flowing toward the radar, the wind flows away from the radar, and that's, you know, typical. If you were standing still, the wind would hit you in the face, and then the wind would go past you and would be behind you. So, but with Doppler radar, we're able to indicate where the rain is coming toward and from. And when it's coming in from both directions, that's when you get rotation, and that's what that red little couplet might be right there. There is not too much green around it, so that might just be a downbursting wind, which of course could also cause some damage. If you were in Lake Park, North Palm Beach, Riviera Beach, Gramercy Park, Palm Beach Gardens, up toward the mall, the Gardens Mall, and up toward Juneau Isles, you're in the path of this storm. So get to a safe place immediately. I do want to switch over to, let me just take a look at Melbourne radar and see what that's picking up. Again, pretty far away, looking to the south. Noticing right around Riviera Beach is where the heaviest activity appears to be right now, back toward Gramercy Park. Michael, I'm going to toss it over to you for a second. I understand you've got some information from one of our weather spotters.
We're going to bring them in and keep you aboard to ask some questions too. Rachel Jackson, I understand, one of our weather spotters here with WPTV, joining us from Juneau Beach. Rachel, are you with us?
Hi, Michael. I am, yes.
Tell me where you are right now safely, I greatly hope. Where precisely are you, and what have you been seeing from a safe vantage point or hearing?
Yes. I don't know if you can hear, we've got a lot of thunder in the background. I'm in Juneau Beach, and we've had really loud thunder, very consistent, flashing lightning for the last, at least 20 minutes. It seems to be starting to move out of the area. I'm not seeing as much lightning, but I do still hear a lot of thunder.
Rachel, are you in a home? Are you in a multi-story structure? Where are you? Are you, as John said, somewhere safe? Describe where you are in your surroundings at the moment. Also, whether the winds, to the degree you were able to safely see out a window, only if you were able to safely do so. Straight line winds, give us a little more sense. Put us right where you are right now.
Yes, I'm in a multi-story building. I'm at work in Juneau Beach.
How high up?
And I'm on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
On a covered, I was inside safely. I just did peek out of the door on a covered balcony, and we don't have wind. Okay. I can't speak for the wind over the last 20 minutes. Ooh, I'm going to go back inside. We've got some loud thunder.
Yep. Yeah, please, safety first. So you're in a multi-story office building in Juneau Beach. Lots of rain, lots of thunder. For the audience just joining us, both on air and online this very moment, what are you seeing from your vantage point? And give us kind of an intersection of where your building is so people have a better sense of precisely where you are.
Yeah, I'm at the NextEra Energy headquarters.
Okay.
And there are sort of sheets of rain falling. It seems to be lessening.
Okay, lessening a bit. So just sort of a feeling, just we'll leave it to John. But as far as what you as a layperson seeing, just sort of, you didn't see a ton of wind, just a lot of rain and lightning up.
A lot.
Seemed to be abating a bit. We've got John here. John, we have Rachel Jackson from Juneau Beach, 3rd floor of the building. A lot of rain. Said the wind, at least to her sensibilities, not necessarily a lot, seems to be lessening just a bit where she is. And Rachel, if you'll stand by, John's also got some information for people who might be slightly more in the thick of it. Again, Rachel Jackson, a weather spotter with us from Juneau Beach. If you'll stand by, John, I know that a safe place is so important for people. Right. Rachel's in a good, secure building, but for those who need that information right now, and as we look at this train of weather, let's go back to that. Rachel, stand by with us.
Yeah,
thank you, Michael.
Tell me that Rachel's on the 3rd floor. I would strongly suggest you get down to the 1st floor. Even though your building may be safe and secure, you know, the higher you are, the more likely you are to get some damage. Even if it's not a tornado, just the winds are always stronger aloft than they are on the ground. So get downstairs to a safe place immediately if you can. We have a, let's see here, a flood advisory in effect that was just issued until 4:45. So we have the tornado warning, of course, first and foremost. the tornado warning in effect until 2 o'clock. So for another little while, that is for eastern Palm Beach County. And we also now have a flood advisory. So again, this is a multifaceted severe storm. It's just not about the possible tornado indicated by Doppler radar a few minutes ago, but there's also been reports of large hail, strong winds, straight line winds over 60 miles an hour in some spots, and also the flood producing rain. So I have a feeling that some folks may be just trapped in this out there. This kind of moved in really, really quick. We had some showers and storms around for a while today, but all of a sudden they just got real vicious in the past hour or so. And some folks that are out there just may not have been aware that these storms could get as intense as quickly as they did.
And John, for those who are able to be joining us on air, we understand some of you are listening to us as we transmit our coverage on air and online. As you look at that wider shot, and you look at the train of weather all the way off the southwest coast of Florida training our way, are the conditions set up where we need to be on guard for the possibility of this kind of activity cropping up again later in the day as us lay folks look at that train of weather moving across the state?
Yeah, well, let's just kind of back this up a little bit. Here's the way things have been going with this particular system. We've gotten hit 3 times, yesterday afternoon, then again yesterday afternoon, last evening. It was round 1. Round 2 came in late last night, early this morning, and we had just enough daytime heating to get round 3 right now. All of the computer models and all of the synoptics as far as this particular weather system is concerned, leading me to believe that this is going to be it as far as the back edge is concerned. I don't see, even with the sun expected to come out here later on this afternoon, we're going to see a lot of sunshine probably by about 5 o'clock or so, especially out across the western suburbs. I don't see this regenerating because while the sun comes out, drier air is also going to be moving in, and the cold front itself will be pushing off the coast. Those are just not conditions that are conducive to getting a repeat performance. Right now we're in what we call the warm sector, so with the daytime heating, but later this afternoon we're going to be on the other side of this. That's where the atmosphere the pressure is rising and the drier air rolls in, and it's actually going to be a very pleasant evening out there by the time all is said and done, and then we'll get a chance to see what, if any, damage has occurred out there. So the long answer to your short question, Michael, is that no, we're not expecting anything else to develop later on today. You can see the back edge of this is already pushed through western portions of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County, and it's already moving through the Treasure Coast as well pretty quickly. So you're in Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie, on down toward Palm City and Hobe Sound. You're about to see the worst of this pushing off the coast here in the next 15 to 30 minutes or so. It's eastern Palm Beach County. That's the big concern right now. That tornado warning in effect until 2 o'clock for what Doppler radar indicated was a possible tornado. We saw rotation there. It doesn't mean it touched the ground, but we saw rotation there, and that's where you go, uh-oh, we better warn the public and let them know that this could turn out to be a tornado that does reach down and touch the ground. You can see it does extend back toward Wellington. And you know, Michael, once we get that cell past Wellington, it'll be over toward PBIA in West Palm Beach in about the next hour or so, and then probably off the coast by about 4:30 or so.
And Steve Weigel, our chief meteorologist, inbound to work along I-95 in Blue Heron, joining us by phone. Steve?
Hi, Michael. Yeah, it's a mess out here. Yeah, I would say the visibility is down to maybe 100 feet. Lots of ponding on the roadways. I've seen 2 accidents so far. A white pickup truck at PGA Boulevard at 95 slammed into the concrete wall. That was a bad one. And right now I'm right around 45th Street, driving south on I-95. And there's at least a couple inches of water on the roadways. Everyone's down to about 20 to 30 miles an hour, so it has slowed down. It's not at a standstill. And even going north, looking over on the north, people headed north on 95, they're probably driving about 20 miles an hour.
And again, Steve Weigel, our chief meteorologist, joining us heading into the station, I-95 coming south of Blue Heron. Steve, Shannon Cake, who was headed northbound, reported you could hear the hail tap, tap, tapping on our windshield. Did you run into any of that?
No, haven't noticed any hail. Haven't noticed much in the way of wind. Just torrential downpours, Michael. Just the water's collecting on the roadways very, very quickly, and I believe we have a new flood advisory that just came out too, in addition to that tornado warning. So, and then there's another cell down moving in toward Boca and Del Rey that I know John and everyone's watching. So that's another concern. The water is really adding up on roadways now.
One of the things we'll be watching for, because we've been so drenched of late, as John's looking over information now. John, you want to jump in here with Steve?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Drive carefully. I know you're on the way in here, and with all that standing water out there, it's just not a good situation to be stuck in right now. We've had reports of quarter-inch sized hail from North Lake and Prosperity. So we've had reports of hail around, but that's the first confirmation that we've had of at least quarter-inch sized hail from North Lake and Prosperity. Also dime-sized hail being reported out at Watkins Middle School. So we appreciate that report out there as well. And of course, there are some kids that are going to be, getting out of school here pretty soon. So obviously use common sense. That car line is going to be long. Exercise patience. The kids may not be released on time because of the severe weather that's in the area. Now, I've got some good news here, Michael, and that's that little, what we call it, a couplet. I know they were throwing all these weather terms at you, and I'm trying to make it as user-friendly as possible here, but that's basically when the wind is flowing toward the radar and kind of wraps around, and we indicated this by all these different fancy colors on here.
The warning's canceled,
like
John?
But
warning's canceled now?
Yeah, the warning is going to be canceled as of 2 o'clock.
Okay.
In fact, we've got just another couple of minutes. It will be canceled. But anyway, that little signature, if you will, if you look at, watch one more scan here, right around Palm Beach Gardens, there it is. And that is kind of going away now. So we're noticing the radar looks pretty typical for heavy rain, lightning, and maybe some hail, but does not look like there's anything indicative of a tornado. I don't see any rotation, at least on what we call the velocity scan. I know these are all kind of like, what's he talking about? Those are all fancy terms, but there's different parameters, different things you can look at on radar besides just rain. Doppler radar, the beauty of Doppler is you can track things with the wind at different levels of the atmosphere, see some rotation. And that's where we were a little bit concerned, because we saw some rotation on some of this rain and some of the winds aloft, but no confirmed reports of any tornadoes on the ground. So again, the tornado warning will expire in about 2 minutes. We don't see this being reissued, but expect some gusty winds, hail, and heavy rain to continue for at least the next hour over eastern Palm Beach County. This will eventually work its way off the coast by about 4 o'clock. And we'll kind of see what kind of damage once the sun comes out later today and things are safe to do so, to get out there, Michael, and see what kind of damage, if any, we had.
And that's a great point, John. The immediate danger of tornadoes appears to be heading off the coast, but we don't know if there's downed lines. We've already heard from Steve Weigel and others about water pooling, so driving suddenly becomes a bigger issue, especially on a school day. We don't know if there are down power lines and down trees. So while the tornado threat may be past us momentarily, that doesn't mean that there aren't potential dangers you have to be aware of once a system like this goes through. So we urge all of you in East Central Palm Beach County to be very, very, very aware of that and very cautious out on the roadways. You see pooling water there. Our crew's out and about in East Central Palm Beach County. Again, we don't know if there's any downed lines, downed trees, anything like that at all. So all of those are potential dangers. So it's not a time to let your guard down. We'll get back to John in just a moment. Steve Weigel inbound. Kate Winsel joining us via phone from Palm Beach Gardens. Kate? Kate, do I have you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we've got you now, Kate.
All right, perfect. Yes. So I'm located just right, pretty much behind the Gardens Mall. And I was, 2 o'clock, it was, or like I should say 1 o'clock, it was dry, cloudy, overcast. I knew storms were to the west, but I thought, I'm going to run a few errands, take the trash out. Within about 5-10 minutes, that tornado warning popped on my phone, and then buckets of rain came down. I mean, sheets of rain. My porch is kind of, not flooded, but there's standing water, which rarely happens, even with heavy rains. But this just came down so fast, so furious. I can say the rain now down to light to moderate. Very windy as well. I didn't have hail here, but knowing that I was very near where that rotation could have been, I was ready to jump into my safe room, which would have been my interior bathroom, which has no windows. And again, it's not, you don't want to be in a room where you have a wall that is right next to the exterior to the outside. You want to be inside as many walls in your home as you can be. So I thank the team. You know, I tuned in because it's my day off, and you know, it's just great to have the experts walking us through it, and hopefully, you know, I can also help add some perspective. That's what we have now, Michael, in Palm Beach Gardens.
As you always do, Kate Winslow. And if you'll stand by on the line for just a moment. John, for those of us just joining us, mindful that people are constantly joining us on air and online, at 2 o'clock, bring us up to date of where we are right now, where we've been, and where we're headed with the weather today.
Okay, Michael, so at 2 o'clock, top of the hour, notice that red box? Gone. It just, the tornado warning, if you're just joining us, we were actually under a tornado warning for about a half an hour, and it just expired at 2 o'clock. We haven't had any reports of tornadoes touching down. But again, as we see things clearing up later today, we'll get a chance to see if there's been any damage around. Sometimes these tornadoes are rain wrapped and we don't see them. They're indicated by radar, but we haven't had any reports thus far from either the area sheriff's departments, police departments, firefighters, anybody in authority that has the ability to report those to us or the National Weather Service. So that's good news there, and the warning has expired. However, the big picture here shows that we're still in a kind of a dangerous situation here in terms of the weather. We've got a flood advisory in effect until 4:45. The big concern for anybody on the road is going to be a lot of standing water. We've had 2 to 4 inches of rain that fell in about an hour, and there could be another inch at least in some parts of especially Palm Beach County. We've been talking about, Michael, East Central Palm Beach County. Don't want to forget about our friends in South County as well, because although you're not expecting any tornadoes there, very heavy rain falling from Boynton Beach down to Delray, Highland Beach, and Boca Raton as well. I'm convinced there's going to be some street flooding going on there as well. That aerial flood advisory continues till 4:45, and you're in it, or at least you're very close to it there. So right now it just appears to be just a lot of rain, still some wind, the possibility for some hail. It looks like the worst is now moving off the coast of Juno Beach and Riviera Beach as well, West Palm Beach. We still have about another 45 minutes of very heavy rain over eastern Palm Beach County. South County, you're getting some heavy rain as well. And over the Treasure Coast, you've got some pockets of downpours, but nothing severe going on right there. So the tornado warning has expired. Stay off the roads. We're under a flood advisory until 4:45, Michael.
John, you all don't own crystal balls, but we've got the best team in the biz. You all have highly precise instruments, the National Weather Service to check in with. The obvious layman's question watching what I see on screen, oh gosh, are we going to have a repeat of this in a few hours? Given what you all see and know and are observing with your instrumentation, are we probably in the clear for this kind of mess?
As far as a repeat of this, I don't see that happening. I think once the sky's clear where you are, then you've got the all clear. Now, you're going to have to wait for it to clear up another hour, especially eastern Palm Beach County. We still have some very dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning going on, some very heavy downpours of rain, still getting reports of hail. So this, although there's not a tornado on the ground, the warning has expired. Michael, the big concern is the next hour. Stay off the road, stay indoors. These are still dangerous storms nonetheless. And then we're going to see clearing as we head toward about 4:30. By 5 o'clock, the sun's going to be out, and we'll get a chance to see if there's any damage, and things will dry out as we head into this evening. So to answer your question, I think once we get past this, we're in the clear.
John, as always, John Gerard, Steve Weigel, Kate Winslow, our entire team, Shannon Cake, all of our team out there who are bringing us information. The very latest from John, the tornado warning for East Central Palm Beach County now canceled. We, as always, here keeping a super sharp eye on the weather for you online and on air anytime any weather like this comes up. Count on us to bring you the very latest. Our team will continue to pour over this. The bottom line for you is be exceptionally safe. If you have to be out on the roadways, if you don't, please don't be. But if you do, extra caution today because of all the water pooling, and we'll go out and assess whether there are any problems on roadways. We'll have all of that for you on air and online. For now, back to our regular programming.
It has been 13 days since husband and wife Frank and Carrie O'Brien and their friend William Gross set sail off the coast of Mazatlan, heading to San Diego. Now, the trio was last heard from on Tuesday, April 4th. Cell phone pings that day show the